Hello everyone, today we are going to be thatching and styling this doll's hair. I believe this is Disco Barbie from 1980, but Sun Lovin also had the same face. So I decided I wanted to do a brunette reroot on a tan doll. This is the doll I decided on, and I was looking online for one and they were all so expensive. I needed this particular screening, which is similar to the Superstar screening, but the eyebrows make her expression a bit sweeter. And then I went to my local doll club meeting and someone had her for sale for $10. I did not have the $10 with me, so my dear friend Brooke, also known as Barbie Boulevardia, lent me the $10 that I needed to get this doll, so thank you so much, Brooke. So yeah, I have rerooted her with brunette hair. I do need to fix up the gleam dot in this eye. I'm going to paint over that and then shift it over. She was very grubby, she was missing plugs, she had chewed up hands and feet, so I've given her a new body, which is the Sun Lovin Malibu body. I was going to do it in a lighter brown, but I felt like it was a bit too wishy-washy. I've already done a video on rooting. I used the loop method, which is more like the most similar to the original factory rooting. It's quite solid, like everything's held in place inside the head, so you don't need to worry about it coming out. But someone did ask for more clarification on thatching. Okay, so I'm going to give you a cardboard demonstration because filming it doesn't quite work with focus and hands getting in the way. This will be hopefully nice and clear for you all. This is the head. This is the beautiful blue hair we've rerooted her with. And we used the loop method. So as you can see, it's all looped together on the inside, and when you tug on the hair, it's nice and tight because each plug holds in the next. So that's one method of rerooting you can use. So the problem here is we have this big bald patch here where there is no hair, and we need to cover that up. So we're going to take a pin, grab a few strands from that side and move them over to that side. Then we take a few strands from the other side and move it to that side. And then you go back to this side, take another few strands, and move them to that side. And a few strands from this side, over to that side. And you just keep going. So that's basically what you're doing, and then you pull it and you set it in place. Obviously, with a decent reroot or original rooting pattern, you wouldn't have these gaps. My Sun Lovin / Disco Barbie does have some of these gaps in her part, which is a bit annoying, but it is factory. So that is basically how you thatch a part. Now we're going to do the actual thatching. Now we do have a plug that's right centered at the front. I am going to take that and just split it in half, and we'll give half to each side. My friend Dakota has these amazing little flat clips that she got on Amazon, I think she said, which would work a lot better than this. Like, that's not gonna work. Definitely go check out Dakota's channel. She does loads of reroots. Okay, I'm gonna go and separate the part from the rest of the hair, which I should have done beforehand. Okay, so I have reverted back to miniature Barbie bobby pins, because they're flat and they hold the hair in place. Ever since I was a kid, I've been obsessed with brunette blue-eyed dolls, and that's what I really wanted as a kid, and I didn't really get it until I got Erica, and she was more towards the end of my Barbie days before I switched to Bratz. The closest I could always get was Teresa, but she had brown eyes. So yeah, I always had this kind of strong desire to have brunette, blue-eyed Barbies. And as most of you probably know, the 70s is my favorite era, so I've already rerooted a ballerina with light brunette hair, the same kind of hair I wanted to do for this doll originally. And yeah, I love that doll so much, and I wanted, so she's the TNT sculpt, and so I really wanted to kind of have a superstar as well. So that is going to be this lady here. I do have plans to do another superstar brunette as well. Okay, now I'm going too far on the other side now, so I need to kind of catch up on this side. Alright, time for a cleanup. So that's a little look at preview at how it's going. Yeah, this doll seems to be thinner rooted than many other dolls from this time. I also wanted to talk about reroots and why I would probably never do this as a business. It is very time consuming, especially when you do it using the loop method. I think I worked it out and it was almost like a full working week. So if you were to equate that to money, minimum wage here in Australia, that's at least $700 to $800 just for one reroot. And that doesn't include the cost of the time for styling, cutting, styling, boiling, and also the materials. So I actually count my reroots as among my more valuable dolls. Not just that, but they are also unique, right? Because they weren't mass produced this way. Also, there is like injuries. So you're using needles. You can like, you know, you can nick yourself or hurt yourself. You could run the risk of damaging the doll completely and it's a complete write-off. But yeah, I actually injured myself doing this reroot. I got a needle right under my fingernail and it got stuck there and it really hurt, and then it was bleeding everywhere. It was not fun. So hopefully she's worth it when she's finished. She'll look nice and pretty. And that's what it's looking like so far. Okay, it's already 22 minutes just for that small section, so I am going to leave it there. I will come back when the thatching is complete. Okay, and that is the completed thatching. As I thought, you can see the scalp through the hair because of the contrast. With blonde hair it wouldn't be as noticeable, but if you look at this, when it's pulled taut it is less noticeable. So I'm hoping that maybe after boiling it, it won't be too noticeable. This part seemed a bit thinner in terms of plugs, and it's also where the ridge is from the mold, so I'm wondering if that's a common thing around that area for it to be thinner. But yeah, that is the thatching done. So we're going to boil the part, then boil the rest of the hair to try and get it to lay flat and, you know, tame these ends and stuff. Okay, so there she is. Yeah, you can see the scalp through here. And I've noticed that this doll has like half the rows of my other Malibu themed dolls. But my other Malibu themed dolls are from 1978 and they are made in Taiwan. So this doll is from around 1980 and she's made in the Philippines. So yeah, so like for instance there'd be like a row of plugs here in that gap there, but there isn't, and it does make it more noticeable. You could paint the scalp beforehand. You could also go in and root extra plugs to fill it out, but I would rather not do that. I want to keep her as original as possible, not put extra holes in her head or risk splitting the vinyl. Okay, so now we are going to fix up her eye. I went in and rooted an extra row of plugs to kind of fill out that bald patch a little bit because it was really bugging me. But yeah, we're going to paint over this gleam dot here, and then we're going to go in about a week's time once that's dried and put in another gleam dot, and I'll probably just put a little touch of paint on this one so that they match in color, because whites can vary quite significantly in color as well. I'm not as steady as I used to be, so hopefully I won't bump it or anything. Okay, so the paint has dried and it is a fairly close match, so I'm really happy with that. You can barely tell that anything's been touched up. Okay, this is going to be hard to film because I need to get in there. Oh no, I'm shaking too much. It's alright, I guess. Yeah, that'll do. It's a little lower than I would have liked it, but it's still much better than it was. Okay, so here she is, all completed. I ended up rooting an extra row of plugs where there was that gap. It was very nerve-wracking, but it does look much better. I think she is super, super pretty. Now, this isn't the original outfit I had planned for her. I have since gotten the fabrics for the outfit I wanted to make her, but I just haven't had the chance to make up the pattern and everything, so when I do make that other outfit, it will most likely just be shared on Instagram, so do go and check out my Instagram linked below. She's currently in this mock-up of a Pretty Changes jumpsuit, but that is for another project which I'll be sharing in the future sometime. Obviously these kinds of videos take me a bit longer to make. It's a little sneak peek at a future project. I'll show you how satisfying it is to brush her hair. It is so silky and smooth, and such a pretty color, like a reddish brown. I'll show you her eyes. So like obviously we repainted those, so I think they look really nice. There's her outfit. I hope you enjoyed this video. I love when I'm actually able to complete a reroot project. Sometimes they take me a long time. Sometimes I end up abandoning them altogether. So yeah, it's very rewarding when it does finally get completed. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. See ya.